Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I have a little bit of a different video for you today. I'm actually doing a get ready with me video, and I am also doing a little bit of a review on some new makeup brushes that I bought. So if you're watching me, are probably very familiar with Angie from Hot and Flashy. She is our anti-aging guru, and recently she developed some brushes with BK Beauty. So she has this 7 brush set, and I did pick it up, and I have been using them for about 2 weeks, and I'm really excited about them because I think they do a really great job. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of a review, a little bit of a get ready with me. Remember, I am not a makeup artist, so this is not in any way a tutorial. It's more like someone who kind of struggles with makeup and the fact that these brushes can actually help you out a little bit. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is clip my hair back because it gets in my face, drives me crazy. The only thing I have on my skin right now is some tinted sunscreen. This is from Australian Gold. This is the sunscreen for the face that is tinted. I believe it's the original shade. Now I think they have a couple different shades, but this is their lightest one, and it works perfectly for me because my skin is very pale and it's practically invisible on my skin. So a lot of times I do wear this as just my foundation, but today I'm actually going to be putting on a foundation, and I'll be using Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear. The color I have is 140 Ivory Neutral, I think it is. And I do like this. It's not my very favorite foundation. My favorite foundation was the old Chanel Lumiere, something Lumiere, and I loved that foundation, but they discontinued it, and the new one is so ridiculously expensive, and honestly, I don't think it's worth the money. So I just went with something a little bit more reasonable, and it still has a very nice coverage. So this is a bit of a it's not a matte finish, it's more of a satin type of finish, and it goes on fairly easily. Again, I like to use my fingers because I've tried different things. I've tried those beauty blender things. I've tried brushes. I have not found a brush that I like yet for foundation, and I feel like it just gets cakey on the brushes, so I'd rather do it with my fingers. So I'm gonna sneak a peek in my super duper magnifying mirror because heaven knows I need it. But now, one thing about putting foundation on over sunscreen, you usually do have to blend a lot more. It doesn't really soak into your skin like it would if your skin were bare. So be mindful of that. I know people make good foundation brushes. I just have not purchased one yet. And the brush set that Angie has does have a fan brush, but I don't think that's ideal for foundation either. So I'm just gonna touch up the edges here. But I think that looks pretty good for now. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to use is my primer for my eyelids. This one is from Trish McAvoy. It came in a set that I got from Nordstrom during the Nordstrom sale. And this is the primer, and this is the actual concealer. Now this concealer, I'm sort of on the fence about it. I feel like it works well, but I don't like the way it works when I have the primer on. I've discovered that the more stuff I put under my eyes, the more things tend to get cakey. So the less the better when it comes to trying to cover up the dark circles on my eyes. So I have decided not to use any sort of primer or anything under my eyes, and that way I just have the bare bones of the concealer and nothing else to really get all cakey. Okay, so these brushes are all numbered, and it took me a little while to figure out which was which, and of course the numbers on them are very small, and I have very poor close-up eyesight, so it's a little bit of a challenge. So any advice I have for Angie would be to make either the numbers bigger on the bottom, because you can see the number, but it's kind of tiny. Let me see. Or else just put the name of the brush. Like, for example, this is the blender brush. This is the fan brush, I think it's called. And then this is the lid shader. So that's what I'm going to use right now for blending in this primer from Trish McAvoy. So just go up the top of my lids here, and this brush works really nice. Sometimes with a primer on your eyelid, it gets a little bit cakey, and some areas are like thicker or more clumpy than others. So your finger isn't really ideal for putting on eyelid primer. Instead, I like using this brush, and this brush works great because it really gets in all of the folds. I have a lot of folds because my eyes are a little wrinkly. Hello. I don't know what's happening over there in that corner. I might have to check that out. All right, so that is the lid shader brush that I use for my eye primer. Next, I'm going to move on to my concealer, and today I'm just going to go with the Tante Doll, once again, Lancome. And this is a fabulous concealer. I do love this concealer. I feel like it lasts a long time and it goes on really easily. My only complaint with this is that it has this huge applicator, and a lot of times if you really pull the applicator out too fast, it splashes, which is kind of annoying. So I always usually do it over my sink. But I didn't have to do it today. I just hope it didn't splash all over me. Okay, so what I will normally do is just do very few little dots on the dark areas, okay? And if I happen to need any other areas covered, for example, on the top of my nose I have some redness, underneath my nose I have redness as well. So we'll go ahead and dab it on there, and then I'm going to use the concealer brush. So this is the magic brush. This is the one that made me fall in love with the whole set. Honestly, it's the whole reason that I bought this set to begin with, because I have always struggled with concealer. The older I've gotten, the worse it has gotten, because I do have a little bit of puffiness, but I also have very fine creases under my eyes and pronounced darkness. So it's a must-have to wear concealer, but you struggle with it because you don't want it to accentuate your wrinkles. After all, what is the point of having a concealer on if then it's just going to make your wrinkles look more prominent? So when I discovered this brush, I knew I had to give it a try. Angie kind of raved about it, and to be honest with you, it's worth every cent I spent on it because it works so well. I really do love it. You don't get fingerprints, you don't get feathering. It really smooths everything out. There's no seaming, I guess, for lack of a better word. Really, really love this brush. So this is the single best brush, in my opinion, in this entire set. Okay, so once I have my entire foundation and my concealer on, I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of setting powder on. I do like this to get the shine out of my face. I have oily skin, and it does tend to get quite shiny over the course of a day. So for this, I actually have this little kabuki brush here, and I prefer that because it has a flat surface. So I'm going to go ahead and shake off my brush. By the way, I am using e.l.f. high definition setting powder. I know e.l.f. is not like one of those luxury brands, certainly not like Lancome, but I really like it. I think it works great. I've tried others that cost a lot more, and I find that sometimes the color is off, like with the Honest Beauty. In the container, it looked kind of, you know, sort of skin colored, but then when I put it on me, it had a very pronounced yellow tinge to it. And when someone has a sort of sallow complexion like I do, the last thing you want is to emphasize any more yellowness. So it did not work for me. I ended up giving it to my daughter. My daughter has a different complexion than I do. She's definitely darker, and it works great for her. So that was nice. I was able to give it to her, but I really didn't like it. That was the Honest Beauty setting powder. There was nothing wrong with the formula. It was just the color was completely wrong for me. So as a result, I ended up getting, going back to my tried and true, which is e.l.f., you know, readily available in the drugstore or the pharmacy. Very easy to use, and they do have a couple different formulas. So it's a very white powder, as you can see, and it goes great for setting the tone for the rest of my makeup. Okay, so I'm gonna go into some blush right now. And the blush that I am using is It by Pores. IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores. Wait till you see the color. It is really, really bright, but again, really pale skin, and you would never think that something like this would actually go on my skin this color, but honestly, it's definitely one of the better colors. I've tried all of the like the famous brush or blush colors, you know, like what's that one, Orgasm by NARS and stuff. It just doesn't work for me. I don't know what it is with my complexion. Again, very, very pale, kind of sallow skin, and so anything that is going to be really cool toned and really pink undertones for me is going to work best. So that is why I went with this really awesome color. Okay, let me just give myself a quick look here. All right, not looking too bad. So let's get into the eye makeup. So eye makeup can be the trickiest area when you have older skin, when you have sagging, when you have wrinkles, and it's even more compounded if you have deep set eyes like I do. They are not hooded eyes. Hooded is a different thing. Deep set because my brow bone extends significantly over my eyes, so my eyes are set deeper into my face for really no other way to explain it. So for me, a lot of times there's a lot of shadow on my eyes, and so I have to try to open it up. So what I'm going to start with is that same brush, the lid shader, and I'm just going to take a quick little swoop of a color. I'm looking for my palette. There it is. So my eyeshadow palette today is going to be from Wet n Wild. It's this little palette right here. It has some very neutral tones in it, and I like all of the tones at perfect 5 shades for me. So I'm going to go ahead with this shade right here, and I'm going to put that all over my lid, and I'm using the lid shader brush. I do have to shake it off because I have a feeling that this is Wet n Wild. It's not like the most stick to it kind of eyeshadow, and I don't want to have it falling down all over my cheeks. So I'm just going to put that over there, and I'm going to put a little bit more on the other side all over my lid. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is take this middle color here, which is this sort of pinky tone, and I want to put that on my lid. And the reason for that is, again, with the hooded eyes, you really want to make your, not hooded, deep set eyes, you really want to make your lid come forward. So in order to do that, I try to put a lighter color on my lid, and a shimmer actually helps grab the light as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And there we have the basics for the eyeshadow. All right, next up is a trick that I learned from Wayne Goss, who, if you don't know, is a really famous YouTuber makeup artist. And I was watching a tutorial on how to make your eyes look younger from him, and he gave the simplest to use trick. I don't know why I never thought of this before, but it's a fantastic trick, and all it requires is a tissue. So here I have a piece of tissue, okay? And I just fold it over, and then what I'm going to do is angle it. So I'm going to line it up with the corner of my eye, and I'm going to line it up with the end of my eyelash or my eyebrow, and then I'm going to go in and color the crease. And so what this is going to do, by the way, I'm going to use the crease shader brush, and I'm going to use the dark brown, not the dark brown, the medium brown color. I'll show it to you in a minute, but it's going to be a little bit tricky trying to do it on camera. I might end up having to do it with my mirror. Let's see, how's that looking? I have mirrors everywhere. Just trying to see, guys. Lights and mirrors. All right, so when I bring it over here, you'll notice that it creates a line right there, which I really like. And I'm going to do the same on the opposite side. I think I'm going to use my mirror to set it up. This eye, for whatever reason, is much trickier to get my makeup on because the eyelid over here on the right-hand side of my face is really, really wrinkly. It's not as wrinkly on the left, and I don't know why that is. So I try to get them as even as possible, go down into the corner almost, and so there you have it. Let me double check and see how that looks. Okay, so the next part is my favorite part. So I'm going to take the detailer brush, which is this little one here, and just to show you, this was the color I put on my crease, and now this is going to be the color that I'm going to make like a little wing on. It's going to be on the side, and once again I need to line this up with the mark that's already there, and then I'm just going to close my eye. I'm going to do this again in the mirror so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to brush it back as if I am making a bit of a wing. So for those of us who are completely all thumbs when it comes to doing little wings, or if you are someone who has deep set eyes where wings are very difficult to draw because the brow bone is right there, you should definitely try this technique. I'm telling you, it has kind of changed my life. All right, so once again, to mention that my right eye is a lot harder to put makeup on than my left eye, so I'm not sure why. It just is, so I have to be a little more careful and kind of, I do tend to dab it more on my right hand side because there's more wrinkles. So just try to pull it down and then go up a little bit towards the wing of my brow there, and then let me see how that looks. Now I'm looking in the viewfinder and honestly it's a blur. So, all right, so actually that doesn't look that bad, I have to say. Okay, so of course I'm going to go in with a blender brush after the fact and blend these colors together, so just to soften the lines a little bit. I don't mind having a wing there, but I don't want it to be like super straight and geometric. I kind of want it to be a little bit softer. So I'm going to go ahead and with this brush, which is the blender brush, I'm going to go and blend those two. All right, the next step, the last color in my little palette here is the highlighter color right here. So that color is going to go on my lid. And this is a flat shimmer brush, which is the perfect applicator to put a nice shimmer. You're just going to dot it on your eyelid like so. So I do try to dot it all around there, and then you can see that the shimmer really makes my lid pop. So compare that one to that one. It looks much better. And then I'm going to do a similar thing on this side. My eyes never quite come out symmetrically perfect, and I guess that's okay. You know, you have differences in your face anyway, so it's not something that I'm going to stress about if it's slightly different on one side than on the other side. But that is the eyeshadow. And lastly, I'm going to put on some eyeliner. So this is a brand new eyeliner for me. I literally just picked it up. This is from Sephora. These are their waterproof retractable eyeliners. They come in a million different colors. And I tried one in sort of a foresty green. My eyes are green, but it's not quite the right green. So I thought I would try the olive green because that is basically the color of my eyes. It's sort of an olive green. So what I will do with my eyeliner is go underneath the lash line and draw in there. So I take some, again, this is a brand new pencil. I've never used it, and I don't know if I need to make it a little longer maybe. Okay. But I like the color because I thought my eyes are olive green and this is olive green. So I thought, what the heck? I'm going to go ahead and give this one a try. Do it all underneath my eyelashes. And then pull some out here on the top of the eyelashes on the outside. Okay, so it's not a real obvious screaming type of green, which I like. The other one that I had was, like I said, a little bit of a forest green, and it was very obvious. And if you don't apply something precisely when the color is very obvious, you can get yourself into trouble. So again, I'm not a skilled makeup artist by any means, and I just wanted something that was going to add a touch of green without looking cartoonish. So I think this might be a good match. These are waterproof. They're a little more challenging to get off, but at the same time, they do tend to stay put. Nothing, you know, is going to stay like rock solid, but at least if it's not going to drip down or transfer to your lower lid. So that is my eyeshadow. So let me see how that looks. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Next up, we're going to do brows, and for the brow, I've got my very favorite Gimme Brow from Benefit. I use it in the 4.5 color, which is one of the darkest ones, but it doesn't seem to come out that dark on me. Okay, I'm not a natural blonde. My eyebrows are very much brown, but they have faded over the years, and since my color of my hair has lightened to mostly gray, and I highlight it with some blonde highlights, I feel that this is the best color for me. I don't think I would go any darker, but I can't go any lighter either because I want my brows to be defined, and you're not going to really see them if I did anything lighter. So this is the only issue I have with this is that it does tend to get like a little clumpy on the end. You do have to wipe it off just a bit, but it has this tiny little brush and it's very easy to use. So again, if you were all thumbs like me, you would definitely want to give this one a try because you don't have to have major skills to get it done. Even pencils, brow pencils, and I do have a Benefit version of a brow pencil, I find that one little slip, if your hands are at all shaky, and then you have like a brown line. So this one does not seem to take that much skill, and I really like the way it looks. One more thing to do here, I think I'm going to add a little bit of shimmer underneath my brows. A little pat it in there just for the heck of it. Okay. And last, let me see, maybe some highlighters. So this is from Merit Cosmetics. I really like this. And it has a very subtle sheen, so I never know where to put this highlight. So I just kind of played around one day and tried to see where the sun normally hit my face. And it seems that the outer edges of my face out here and way up here on my cheekbone, and then I can do a little bit on my Cupid's bow and a little bit on my nose as well. This one, I just kind of streak it down there. I do have a sort of a bumpy nose, so I like to draw that line to make it look a little more concealed or camouflaged, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So let me go ahead in and rub that in. And just on my Cupid's bow right there. All right, last thing is eyelashes. And today I'm using Plump It Up Colossal Mascara from Maybelline. Maybelline has so many different formulas anymore, it's tough to know which ones to get. I've tried Great Lash, which, as most of you know if you put makeup on at all, Great Lash is like a holy grail type of mascara for a lot of people, but not for me. I'm not really a fan of Great Lash. I find that it really does clump, and it just didn't work for me. However, I am kind of liking this. It is a Plump It Up, and I have very skimpy lashes. They are short and they're skimpy and they're pretty much straight. So I'm going to go ahead in and curl my lashes first. If I don't curl my lashes, there's hardly any point of me putting mascara on. So I usually squeeze it a little more than average, maybe like 10 times or so to get my lashes good and curled. So they do already look a little better. I don't know if that's visible on camera because, again, my eyelashes are very skimpy. But the brush on this, the Colossal Pumped Up Mascara from Maybelline, is really big. So it's easy to get long strokes. So I try to go down to the root of my lashes and get in there. I've never really found a mascara that makes a whole lot of difference for me. Sometimes some are better than others, and usually these thicker plumping formulas are good for me. But if anybody out there is in my boat and has really short, skimpy lashes and you found a mascara that actually shows up, I would love to hear about it. I've tried various ones. I bought Dior Show. It was fine, but it didn't do, you know, it wasn't a miracle product. I bought They're Real. I think that was by Benefit. And that was pretty good as well, but not enough to keep going back and spending the kind of money So I ended up with the drugstore ones, and I was pretty happy, I guess, with those, mostly because, you know, you don't have a whole a whole lot of choice if you have skimpy lashes. All right, so the left eye has better lashes than the right eye. Again, the disparity between the two, can't really explain it. I just know that my left eye is easier to work with, has fewer wrinkles, has fewer dark circles, or it's not as intense, and it has better lashes overall. And even the eyebrow on the left is better and fuller than the eyebrow on the right. So I don't know, go figure. You always think that your eyes are going to be the same, or your you know, the size of your face are going to be the same, and that is not the case at all. It looks to me like I got a little mascara on my eyeshadow, boo-hoo. I don't know if I'm going to be able to dab it off with a tissue. We'll give it a whirl, see what happens. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. All right, I'm going to have to go with my blender brush. So there's a beautiful blender brush from Hot and Flashy, and get in there and fix that a little bit. Okay, so far I'm liking what I see, and I think the couple of new things that I tried, which was this Wet n Wild eyeshadow and this brand new eyeliner, I think works great. Now, another option for eyeliner, which I absolutely love, is to use eyeshadow. So if I don't have a really good liner, I will always use eyeshadow, and I'll use this really pointy little angled brush that I got from MAC about 15 or 20 years ago, and that will definitely get the eyeliner on consistently, and I don't have to worry about it being, you know, all over the place, because again, I'm not really skilled with makeup. Okay, the last thing is lips, and I'm gonna go ahead with this pencil. The pencil is, goodness, glasses, where are they, girl? I can't see anything without my glasses, ladies. It's from Lancome. I was on a Lancome kick, I guess. And it is a nice little liner brush. And it also has a, like this pointy brush on the other end. So you can blend your lipstick if you want to. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. I guess it all depends on the formula. And finally, a little bit of lip color. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. This is that famous Pillow Talk. And this is more of a glossy formula and very creamy. Sort of a medium brown, which is one of the better colors for me. I'm going to go ahead and glide that on. There we go. It's hard to talk when you're putting lipstick on. Okay. All right, so overall, I think that worked out pretty well. So this is the finished product right here. Let me take my hair down. Okay. The lighting is, you know, it's not ideal because I'm in my bathroom and I've got this, you know, kind of crazy setup, but I think the eyeshadow and the makeup came out really well, and I'm really, really impressed with the quality of these brushes. A couple things to note about them is the handles are very nice and long, which gives you more control. Sometimes you can shorten up, and sometimes you want like a longer hand. And they also are really, really soft and compact, so you don't feel like there's stray bristles anywhere. Very, very soft on your skin. This concealer brush right here is like the magic one. I love the way it does my concealer, and in fact I'm going to double check, and I think my concealer looks really good still, so I'm very happy with that one. Love the shimmer brush. All of the brushes are great. Ooh, this one's not an Angie brush. Let me put that one down. And so I would have to say that each of these brushes has their own merit. I love them all, but if you do nothing else, I know right now you cannot buy them except in the set, but eventually if you are able to buy them separately, I definitely would get the concealer brush. I think it's the best brush for concealer, the best applicator for concealer I have ever used, so I really, really recommend that one. And then having these different brushes for the different areas of your eyeshadow really works. You have the lid, You have the crease, you have the little detailer, and then the shimmer one, the flat shimmer one is very nice. So they all feel great. They all are very pretty, well balanced, and I really think that they are worth the money. Definitely, you know, the quality is there. BK is very well known for their quality brushes, and I'm just really happy that I got this. I didn't really think that it was going to make that much of a difference in my application. The way I looked at it was like, if you give me a Stradivarius, I still can't play the violin. And I kind of thought, it doesn't matter if I have good brushes because I'm really not skilled with makeup. But I'm telling you, sometimes your tools really make a difference. And this one right here is like worth the whole, I would pay the whole amount of money to get this brush because it's that fantastic. Absolutely love it. So well done to Angie. I really love your brushes, Angie, and I would highly recommend them. This is not sponsored in any way by any chance, guys. I just wanted to do a little, not really tutorial, but you know, a little chit-chatty, get ready with me kind of video. So that is it for my video today. I will try to link as many products as I can down below, and I'll let you know what my colors are, etc. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.